Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so today's the day, July 18th of 2025, Rymir Satterwaite and the JayZ DNA saga. So today, I believe, is the deadline for JayZ to produce the DNA. Cannot confirm or deny, I gotta say, allegedly. It's been reported that JayZ may have given him the DNA test and also a house. Again, can't confirm or deny, but that's what's on the internet streets. But here's my thing. So basically, this young man's mother, rest in peace, is no longer with us. And it is believed that um, JayZ fathered the child with a young lady, allegedly when she was around 16 years of age. Okay, so maybe that's it. But here's the thing about it, I do see some similarities. I think it's highly probable that he might be, you are the father. But my question is this: it's been going on for 10 years. The truth will come out. Why is it taking 10 years? Why would it be all worth the legal fees to fight? It should have been resolved. Just take the DNA test. That's it. This could have been resolved. But here's my thing also. Because of the success and the status, does that give a man, let's just say, and I think the soup coolers and the nose, there's a resemblance there. We'll find out, hopefully. But let's just say, if it's not, then it's not. Mute point, move on. But let's just say, what if it is determined that JayZ is the father? If that is the case, it is determined that he is the father, please explain to me, can you imagine the damage that has done to this young man? What if that is the confirmation and you have not been there? See, at some point, I don't care even if you are a celebrity. First of all, kids don't ask to be here. They do not ask to be here. So let's say if that's the case, then that makes Beyonce his what? Stepmother. So you cannot choose just from a moral aspect, and it's not about money. But if that's the case, you cannot choose which child to parent and which one's not. I don't care what your success is or who you're married to. Morally, you are morally bankrupt if you think you can choose, okay, I've got to set up over here, so I'm going to parent these, but not you. It's a little late, the kid is grown, but to actually be there and have that that father-son connection, I can't respect that. People say, oh, well, he's married to Beyonce, and they're this and they're that. Uh-huh. And guess what? He put a son here who did not ask to be here. No child asked to be here. Now, I'm not saying, it's probably a little late to even go to the barbecue, but I thought about it. You just can't do that to people. From a moral aspect, you cannot sit up here if you have a child and negate that child or say, hey, you know what? We're going to live our lives over here and you over there. To me, that speaks volume about a person, and I don't care who you are married to. It speaks volumes. It's like saying, hey, I'm on my stepping stone. So at the time I was with this person, they're not really as important, the offspring for that relationship, they're not as important. So now I do this for myself. So it sounds like to me like you're not good enough. I don't want you in my space. I think it's tacky and classless. And there's no amount of money that can clean that up. This has been going on for years, court battles. There are reports out there, maybe just salacious drama. I don't know. Again, I can't confirm or deny, so I have to say allegedly. There are reports out there that, guess what? That have said he's driving. It's like, hey, he finds a gun in his vehicle, and then the police happen to just pop up. Just when he's called someone and said, hey, there's a gun in my car. What happened? And then they check the film and someone puts a gun, as they can see someone get into the vehicle, putting a gun there. Who would do that? Maybe somebody wants you locked up. Then they've been saying in the court battles there has been, influence based on who they are, Jay and Beyonce, allegedly. But this just speaks volumes. The fact, let's like I said, well, today's the day, and some say it's been confirmed. I don't know. You know how the internet can jump things. Then some people may have more information than others, so I can't confirm or deny. But can you imagine how that would make a person feel? You're seeing him, he's, on television, and he's got this whole other family, and then for you to have to fight to get the acknowledgement, it speaks volumes. I don't care who you are, I cannot respect it. I can't. It speaks volumes to your character, or maybe the lack thereof. So you tell me, do people have the right to pick and choose? Like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and be a parent to these kids, but not that kid? Is that how it goes? Is that acceptable behavior? Well, you got to understand who his wife is. Doesn't matter. The kid, if it's his, was already here. Now, I'm not saying I got to have him into the home and all that. But do you just, let's say if it's his, and what if that's the case? If he did leave him, give him a house, you just walk off and say, hey, I got you a house and buy. That's just code for, guess what? I have this life and you don't fit in it. I don't want you in it. That's what it says to me. And that's still, despite what you may or may not have given, it's still very damaging psychologically. If he's the dad, do you think that Rymir's life will change? Will he get some better opportunities? And as I understand, he filed this. Looks like they're saying, I heard a report that said he basically filed it like pro se, as a pro se litigant, filed on his own. And if he did and got this far, congratulations, son. I admire your tenacity. So let me know, what do you think? I thought about it. What if that's the son? So what do we do now? Do you, start communicating? Or if it's true, buy him a house and maybe, I don't know, will a check follow and, off into the sunset? Because if that still speaks volumes, it's like, hey, I don't want you in my life. Will he be part of the inheritance? Probably not. If you have to, again, 10 years is going on back and forth. This is crazy. 10 years ago, all you would have done is just take the darn test and we're done. But for it to continue, it speaks volumes. You mean to tell me, if this has been going on with different court battles for over a 10-year period, you mean to tell me that you're willing to spend money on legal fees when you could have gotten this resolved years ago? Just take the test and move on. Someone could say, oh, we think you went ahead and gave birth to this Martian up on Mars and they want a DNA test. Well, we know that is not possible. Why would you spend money even if you have it? So the fact that it took 10 years to get here and you're still fighting, that to me speaks volumes. Oh, it speaks volumes. It lets me know about your character. Maybe he's not good enough for the Carters. You can't go into a time machine again and go back and change things. But again, I thought about 10 years been fight. Why would you fight it? You could have taken a DNA test and let it go. And now 10 years later or more, now we're here. Again, can people pick and choose? Like, hey, I fathered a child over here, but you're not part of my family. I don't want you part of my life. Is that the moral thing to do? Again, no one has to be here. And they're saying that when this child was conceived, the mother was impregnated. She was age 16. Maybe that was it. And she's no longer here. I'm sorry. It's like discarding an oh shoot, hey, this right here is going to be in the donation box, and this is going to be the keeper. So the donation box is going to be the ones you don't want. You can't do that with children. And I've got my family over here. Wow. I've heard some things about Hova, and I was holding on, trying to keep the faith. But I thought about a 10-year battle. You could have been had this over with. So you rather spend legal fees, so that tells me, it makes me believe that maybe it's possible you've been trying to hide something. And normally when human behavior, you get tired and you get worn out and you just let it go. But Mr. Satterwaite did not. Rymir did not. So let me know what you all think about this. A 10-year battle. Why would it take 10 years? 10? Back and forth. This is crazy. Time allegation came. Take the DNA test. Boom. We're done. That's it. So the fact that you're willing to fight it, it makes me wonder. You know if you know the woman or not, or have relations or not. You know. Come on, let's not pretend. Before you became successful, you probably knew. Let's say if it's his son, that girl was pregnant, or that maybe it was a chance it was yours before you even became successful. Because people talk, where they live in the neighborhood. It's like that kid. Remember Bill Clinton, and the kid's mother was I call him company keeper, a lady of the evening. Wow. And she's a black woman. Wow, that kid looked just like Bill Clinton. Looked just like Bill Clinton. And they said the same thing. They were basically harassed. They even said reportedly the mother told them, listen, just be quiet, especially when Hillary got involved. So to be quiet, or she just said, hey, something might happen to us. What are the odds they can link you to a woman who is a company keeper for pay, and she gets pregnant, and the son looks like Bill Clinton? Uncanny. What are the odds? So it shows you sometimes people in high places, they have dirty lives too. The fact that you will reject your own seed, again, no kid asked to be here. No one says, I want to be born by you. It doesn't work like that. That with Bill Clinton, boy, the dude look, side by side, it's like, oh my gosh. They were getting some money, then all of a sudden, they say allegedly when Hillary got involved, the checks may have stopped. Just a regular kid walking around looking like Bill Clinton. Ain't that something? So the same here. Men get in positions of power, and I don't care who you are. I don't think it's fair for people to just decide to choose, okay, this is your offspring, and who you want to parent, who you want to be there for, and who you don't, especially if it is your child. Again, it speaks to me, their character or the lack thereof. Let me know what you all think. This is going to be interesting. I think the nose and the soup coolers to me are very similar. The nose and the soup coolers, maybe the eyebrows to me, I've seen a few pictures of them, side by side linked. I think it's highly probable that Hova may have had this son by that woman. So, we'll await confirmation. Let me know what y'all think. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment. Again, can you pick and choose which kids to parent and which ones not to parent? Do you not have a moral obligation to at least honor and acknowledge your seed? And I'm out.